Now, if you have old family photos in black and white that you want to add some color to and make them look new again, Photoshop has a surprisingly easy tool to do just that. The photo that we'll be using today is an old scanned image, and as you can see, it has that retro black and white look. So let's go and add some color to it to make it look a little bit more modern, or at least as modern as we can with this type of image. The first thing that we'll do is press Command or Control J on our image layer to duplicate it, and then we'll right click and go to Convert to Smart Object. That way all the adjustments that we create are non-destructive and we can always go back if needed. From there, we're going to go into our neural filters by going to Filter and down here to Neural Filters. Now, if you've never explored the neural filters in Photoshop, I definitely recommend taking the time to go and explore some of these because they're super impressive. But the one we're going to be talking about today is Colorize. So we'll click on that one and then turn it on like so. With the auto color image enabled, Photoshop will automatically take all of the things in our image and guess what their colors probably are. In most cases, it does a really good job with skin tones and hair color. However, there's obviously some things that are not quite right with the image. Luckily, it's really easy to add specific colors to fix the auto color of the image, or you can use these techniques that we're about to talk about if you want to manually color the entire image as if auto color was disabled. This would still work for you as well. So in this particular image, I want to correct the color of this fence and make it look brown once again. So within the Colorize panel under focal points, we're going to click on the area that I want to change the color of. So in this case, the top part of the fence, I'll click on there to add a color swatch. The color picker will appear and I'll set this to the color of the fence that I want it to be. So let's say a brown color like so. Click OK. With that color swatch added, Photoshop will add that color to that specific area of the fence. I can then change the strength and intensity of that color just by using my strength slider here. With that color set, I'll click in the next area on the fence that is an issue, which is right by his arm, and then that looks pretty good to me with the current strength settings. I'll then click down here at the bottom part of the fence, and now the fence looks pretty good in terms of color. Now let's say over on this lower part of the photo behind the young girl here, I want to make it look a little bit more green, kind of like over on the right side of the image. So I'll click on that part. It'll once again apply the brown tones, but I can just click on the color picker here and then now choose a green color that suits that particular spot. Click OK. Once that's applied, you can change the strength, of course, and you can even change the color as needed after you've applied the effect to get some varied results in your edit. Now, if you make a mistake at any time during the coloring process, you can click on any of these color dots and then just press remove to delete them and remove that particular adjustment. You can also click and drag them to a new location to change which areas of your photo are going to be affected by that particular color adjustment. Now, within the neural filters, using these focal points usually works best on broad areas. However, on little areas such as around her fingers or this purple part around the Easter egg, it sometimes can not do the best job. So we're going to go through and manually adjust these things in the main Photoshop workspace. Now with all of this looking good to go, I'm going to set my output options to output as new color layer. It'll look like this, but don't worry, just click OK. And now you'll have your color adjustments applied above your original image layer. If I turn that off, you can see how it goes back to the original black and white photo. The reason that the color blends in so well is because this layer is set to the color blending mode. I'll call this to colorized overlay. Now let's go and touch up those problem areas that were left over from our neural filters. I'll start by creating a new layer, and then I'll select my brush tool by pressing B. I'll then make sure I have a soft round brush selected. Up here in the options bar, we'll then make sure the mode is set down here to color, and then we need to go and sample the color that we want to use as our replacement color. So in this case, I want to remove this purple and replace it with this sort of beige color. So I'll hold Alt or Option and click to sample that color, and now I'll just go and paint over the image like so. Now you see that this doesn't really blend in, and that's because we missed one crucial step, which is applying a clipping mask. Right-clicking on your new layer, go to Create Clipping Mask. So now that adjustment only affects the colorized overlay that we created previously, and now you can go and continue to paint and it blends in flawlessly with the original photo, applying that new color wherever you paint. This works anywhere in your photo with any color, and it's a great way to touch things up yourself if the neural filters didn't do the perfect job. Now with that same layer selected, I'm going to go and fix the fingers here. They kind of look discolored like a zombie finger, so I'll hold Alt or Option to sample the skin tone of her hand. That looks nice, and then I'll go and paint over her finger like so to add some life back in there, de-zombify her hand a little bit. You can also go and touch up any problem areas that were left over from the neural filters, even if the original looked pretty decent, so just around the edges here could use a little bit of love. You could continue to rinse and repeat this process with other colors, sampling the color that you want to replace with, and then painting over any problem areas as needed all over your photo until you're happy with the result. But now turning those adjustments on and off, you can see the huge difference that makes to colorize our photo. I would say this looks pretty realistic, although I obviously don't know what the exact colors looked like from the initial image, but it does a great job and removes a lot of the guesswork that is involved with colorizing black and white photos. Now, once your initial colorized adjustments are complete, you can add other adjustment layers such as a curves adjustment or a color balance adjustment layer to change the look of the contrast as well as some of the colors in the overall photo and give it a bit more of a stylized look beyond what you can do inside of the neural filters. With all those steps together, you can get some really great results with your colorized effects.